We hear so much about getting back to the moon, the Artemis program, and boots on the ground. That's exciting stuff, but it can feel, well, a bit abstract sometimes.
It can, yeah.
But just recently, something very real, very tangible, actually arrived here in the U.S., the HALO module.
Yes, HALO. That's a really pivotal moment. Its arrival isn't just another delivery. It's a foundational piece for the Gateway space station.
Exactly.
Which is, that crucial orbiting outpost we need for a sustained lunar presence with Artemis.
Right, Gateway. Think of it like a base camp, but orbiting the moon. It doesn't land, but it supports everything happening on the moon.
A vital hub.
And HALO showing up. That makes Gateway feel much, much closer to reality.
Yeah.
So for this deep dive, our mission, if you will, is pretty clear. To really get our heads around why HALO arriving is such a big deal and what role it's going to play.
And we've been looking into the source material, the Eingefichter text, to unpack all that.
Let's dive in then. HALO Habitation and Logistics Outpost. You said it's central. Its journey here was quite something, wasn't it? It came all the way from Italy.
It did indeed. The main structure was built by Thales Alenia Space. That's in Turin, Italy.
Wow. Precision work happening over there, all for lunar orbit. And then just, April 1st, it lands stateside, Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport in Arizona, flew in on a cargo plane.
Yeah, and you have to appreciate the sheer complexity of moving something like HALO. It's big, it's delicate. Getting it from Turin to Arizona, that's serious logistics, shows real commitment.
Definitely.
And now its next step is heading over to Northrop Grumman's place in Gilbert, Arizona. That's where they'll do the final outfitting.
Right, get it all kitted out. And we saw pictures, didn't we? NASA's Josh Valcarcel took them.
Yeah.
Seeing it makes it feel very concrete.
It does.
So, okay, it's in Arizona, getting ready. But let's back up. What exactly is HALO going to do up there orbiting the moon?
Well, HALO is Gateway's very first pressurized module. That's key. It's one of the two main building blocks for the whole station, really.
The first room, essentially.
Kind of, yeah. It's going to be the primary living and working space for the Artemis astronauts when they're up there in lunar orbit, before they head down to the surface or when they come back up.
So more than just closets and storage, it's where they actually live and work.
Exactly. It's the habitat. But it's also packed with essential systems. We're talking command and control, the brains of the early station, basically.
Okay.
It handles data, power storage and distribution, thermal control, keeping everything running, and, survivable in space.
So it's like a mini station all on its own, almost.
Yeah.
Self-contained. I think I read something about communications, too.
Yeah, that's a big one. It'll have high-speed comms. That's through ESA's Lunar Link system. And communicating reliably across that distance is not trivial.
No kidding.
This system uses some advanced tech to make sure there's a solid link back to Earth for data and, talking to the crew. And critically, HALO also has docking ports.
Like parking spots in space.
Pretty much. For NASA's Orion capsule, the lunar landers going down to the surface, and those logistics modules bringing up supplies.
So you can picture spacecraft coming and going, docking up. Quite the busy little hub.
That's the idea. And it's not just about logistics and living. HALO will also host science experiments, both inside and outside.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the deep space environment around the moon offers unique chances for research. Radiation studies, microgravity effects, testing out new technologies needed for longer trips.
Which is super important, right? Not just for the moon, but thinking longer term.
Okay, so HALO is this packed module, living space, command center, docking, science lab. How does the whole Gateway station fit into the bigger lunar plan?
All right, zooming out. Gateway itself is planned as a small crewed space station in lunar orbit. It's a big collaboration, NASA, international partners, commercial companies.
International, okay.
Its main job is to be that sustainable outpost for exploring the moon. Really, the cornerstone of the whole Artemis program's long-term vision. Sustainable feels like the key word there. This isn't just Apollo's quick visits. Gateway implies sticking around.
Exactly. It's designed for longer stays. It provides the living quarters, the labs, those docking ports we talked about. It lets astronauts live and work in deep space while they prep for going down to the moon.
So it acts as a staging point.
Precisely. It makes the whole process potentially more efficient, maybe safer too, compared to just going straight from Earth to the surface and back.
That makes sense, like a waypoint.
A waypoint, yeah. And it supports regular cargo deliveries, crew rotations, makes the logistics of having people near the moon much more manageable. And maybe down the line, it could even be a stepping stone for missions further out.
Mars, perhaps. That always seems to be the horizon goal.
It's definitely part of the long-term thinking.
Okay, so beyond just getting to the moon's surface, what's Gateway's, enduring purpose? Its long-term significance?
Well, what's really interesting is that Gateway is designed from the ground up as a long-term platform. For science, yes, but also for international cooperation. Its orbit is quite special.
How so? What's special about the orbit?
It's called a near-rectilinear halo orbit, or NRHO. It gives great access to the lunar surface for periods, but also allows for good communication with Earth and periods of deep space observation.
Okay.
And importantly, it exposes the station to the deep space radiation environment outside Earth's protective magnetosphere. That's huge for testing how equipment holds up and understanding the effects on astronauts long term.
Stuff you really need to know before you send people to Mars for months or years.
Exactly. You can't fully simulate that on Earth or even in low Earth orbit like the ISS. Gateway becomes this critical proving ground way out there.
Testing technologies in the actual environment they need to work in.
Right. Testing advanced communication systems, power generation, life support, all the critical things you need, not just for the moon, but for pushing out further. Gateway helps us figure that out, paving the way for, yes, eventually, Mars.
So Halo arriving isn't just one piece of hardware. It's like laying a foundation stone for this whole new era of exploration infrastructure way beyond Earth.
That's a good way to put it. It signifies that tangible progress towards this permanent capability in lunar space.
So what is next for Halo? Now that it's landed in Arizona, what's the immediate plan?
Good question. So, after Northrop Grumman finishes the outfitting in Gilbert,
Yeah.
it takes another trip. This time across the country to NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida.
Okay, big move again.
And that's where it gets really integrated. It's going to be joined up with Gateway's other main initial piece, the Power and Propulsion Element, or PPE.
So the habitat module meets the power and engine module.
Exactly. They get bolted together there. And then the plan is to launch both of them together.
On what kind of rocket? Must need a powerful one.
Oh, yeah. They're slated to launch on a SpaceX Falcon Heavy.
Wow. Okay, that's a serious launch vehicle.
It is, to send them all the way out to lunar orbit.
All right, so wrapping this up then, Halo's arrival here in the U.S., coming all the way from Italy, it's a really concrete step forward for the Gateway station.
Definitely, a major milestone.
And Gateway isn't just some extra thing. It's really core to the whole Artemis plan, enabling that sustained exploration of the moon and also acting as a test bed, laying groundwork for going even deeper into space.
It's fundamental architecture for the future.
So Halo itself, it's more than just a metal can. It's going to be a home, a workplace, a lab, a docking hub, all orbiting the moon. A platform for living, working, and discovery.
Absolutely. It represents that long-term vision, extending our reach.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? As we see these pieces coming together, literally crossing continents, what does it truly mean to set up a permanent base of operations in lunar orbit? How could that change our whole perspective on space, our ability to go further? And what kinds of science, what discoveries might be just around the corner thanks to having this outpost way out there?
Yeah, it's definitely something to ponder as Halo gets ready for its next big journey.